Wow, the real estate market numbers are in for Panama City Beach housing, Panama City Beach condo market, the 30A market. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and it really is stunning to see just how quickly things have changed. Let's get right to some of these numbers. If you've watched any of these reports before, you're familiar with this chart. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, this comes from a company called Showing Time. Showing Time is a service that real estate agents and brokers and offices use to schedule a showing appointment. So if someone wants to go see 4 or 5 condos, 4 or 5 houses, we use this software to schedule those appointments. And what's nice about it is we have some data to track to just see how much real estate is being shown. Because, of course, we have to see real estate before we're going to write an offer, before we can get to contract, before we have closing. So it's a really good way to look into the future and see what the real estate market closing numbers, sales numbers will look like a month or two from now. We started tracking this right at the beginning of coronavirus. Early March, of course, you can see we were really way off in showings. We were down at one point, we were down about 85% of people getting out and looking at real estate when you compare it to the same time as last year. What you're looking at here is all of North America. Let me give you just Florida. So I think everyone was a little bit surprised to see the recovery coming so quickly and so dramatically. If you look the last month or so, we've really been around even year over year. And in fact, in the last week or so in Florida, we're actually up year over year. We're getting out and showing more real estate right now than we were this time last year. So, of course, the next thing to take a look at and consider is, okay, how many people are not just wanting to get out of the house and do something and look at real estate, but how many people are actually writing offers, and how many of those offers are being accepted by sellers so that we are actually having contracts and agreements in place. It's one thing for buyers to be out looking. It's another thing for buyers to be out making offers, but having buyers and sellers come together and agree on where pricing should be is a really big step. And look at some of this. It's really incredible to see what's happened. The blue line represents the Panama City Beach housing market. The red line represents the condo market. The yellow line represents the 30A market. So if we look at some exact numbers here for you for just a second, of course, as showings went way down in early March, contracts written was way down. We weren't surprised by that. If you look, let's just start with the Panama City Beach homes market. That market held a little bit more steady than the condos market and the 30A market. Remember, with all these vacation rental bans in place, it was difficult for buyers who were thinking about a vacation rental to come from some other area and look at real estate. So the traditional residential market held up a little better early on. It bottomed out at about 70%. We were writing 70% fewer contracts than we were the year before. Mid-April, it started to recover. We were only down 17%, 19%, and then we went up. And look, we're all in the positive since the beginning of May. And again, this is the blue line. So up as high as 93% in 1 week, year over year. We wrote 93% more contracts. The next week, it was 83% more contracts. The next week, it was pretty flat compared to that week in the year before. But then look at what we've done since then. Up 12%, up 81%, up 19%, up 36%. And of course, we're going week by week. So this is a very specific look at comparing year over year. But generally speaking, we're positive. Look at the condo market. The condo market lagged behind. At one point, it was down about 79% in writing contracts. We were writing 79% fewer contracts than we did this time last year. Then it was 75%. We started to recover a little bit, 58%. 46%, still down. When the vacation rental ban was lifted, we've gotten very busy here with people just vacationing generally, but it's given buyers who are serious about buying an opportunity to come down and actually see things. So look at what we've done since then. Early May, down 10%, down 9%, and it's gone to the positive. Up 2%, up 88% now, 29%, 45%. And if you think about that, when you compare it year over year, it would be one thing to be up 5 or 6 or 8% or 10%. We're talking about really huge numbers when you compare it to this time of what's going on right now, when you compare it to this time last year. And we're still in the middle of, or not completely out of this, the effects of this coronavirus pandemic. And we're this far up. And now really look at the 30A market. I mean, it's on fire, up 111%. 183%, 141%, 167% more contracts written in any given week than the week before. Similar story there on 30A, lagging behind the residential markets just a bit, just because, again, so many people are coming from out of the area to look at the real estate. But look at that demand that's in there and look at the agreements that are coming in. So a couple things to think about. I know this affects people on both sides of the transaction, buyers and sellers. Buyers, if you find something you like, make a clean offer. And I think that's just the bare minimums. You have to get a little creative when you write a clean offer. I spoke with Morgan on our team earlier this week, and she was working with a buyer that found something they liked. Pretty quickly, there were 11 offers on the table. I'm working on one that we put out 2 days ago. We have 5 offers in. I'm expecting a 6th, possibly 7th one today, less than 48 hours later. And we're looking at a lot of the offers are very similar in price, but there's some very, very big differences in terms. There's some things you can do if you're a serious buyer to make contracts more appealing on the term side. So make sure when you're presenting offers, get with your agent and make sure that you can make it as clean as possible. Sellers understand contingencies to a point, but make sure that you're presenting those and packaging those up in a way so that it isn't overwhelming for a seller, keeping in mind that we're very much in a hot sellers type of market right now. Sellers, a couple things to be thinking about. Certainly pricing, you've got to be really, really careful on your pricing right now. This is the time to get a little bit more aggressive on your pricing. There is a lot of demand out there, as you can see. Buyers are serious, buyers are buying. There is still not a lot of inventory, meaning there are not a lot of homes, not a lot of condos for sale in any given price range or area. When you look at pricing, it's easy to look in the past, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months back to see what sales prices have been, but don't lock yourself into those numbers. When you see a market that's this active, it's time to be a little bit more aggressive on your pricing. And there's a fine line there between going too high, but just don't leave any money on the table. Buyers are very, very active right now. So hope this helps you guys, give you an understanding. Sorry I was a little bit late this week. It's been a very busy week, but hope this gives you some sense of what's happening in the market. And we'll be back in touch next week with another update. Thanks.